fed men in the lobby waiting for their wives to get something done. And I look over at them and I'm like, have you had that looked at? And they, this just giant melanoma on their head. And like, men, we don't want to go to the doctor. It's just inconvenient. So,
Yeah.
and two different men. And then their wives have come back and said, yeah, that was like, you saved his life basically, because never in a million years would he have ever gotten that looked at. So
That's crazy.
it's just in the world of skincare, people do, they don't like the imperfections, but they don't think about the fact that your skin's an organ, just like anything else. And, the more sun exposure you have, free radicals, high sugar diet, there's all these other things that contribute to it. But you can get skin cancer pretty easily, especially if it's in your family.
Yeah.
And so it's important to get those things checked out.
Dang. I've recently noticed, like, I've started getting these little things on my.
It's cancer. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I gotta go to my dermatologist to figure that out. But like, and it was just, I just noticed it over the past few months, and like little marks here and stuff. Like, is that something you see? Like, you can like, oh, take care of that little laser.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, that's not looking concerning at all, but like little nodules, little fat pockets in this area here.
Yeah.
That's going to be either could be kind of an allergy type of thing, or it could be that you're just getting old.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of times you'll lose a lot of laxity in that area. Yeah. You'll get pits and pockets in these areas. So you do get to a point where you start needing things like filler. You start needing to do laser work. You start needing to do at-home care. Because you lose that elastin. So a lot of people don't know, especially in Arizona, you lose 3% of your collagen and elastin every year.
Really?
Just because of how much sun. We get more sun here on accident than most people get on purpose. And so it's just that UV rays are damaging your elastin and your collagen. Your elastin's what holds everything up. Your collagen is more of your scaffolding that keeps everything plump. And so when you age, you stop about age 30 to 35, you stop producing that. Your body stops repairing your collagen and stops repairing your elastin. And so that's why people, when they reach their mid 30s, they're like, oh, it's all downhill from here. Or that's when I really started noticing my aging. And that's mainly because you have what are called fibroblasts under your skin. Their only job is to really replace collagen and elastin repair. And they just go to sleep. They stop working. So going back to lasers, that's why the laser not only does the surface work, but it reawakens those fibroblasts. And those fibroblasts go to work. They start repairing everything that's broken. We've already burned everything out with the laser. And in a way, it's almost from a seed again. It has to grow new elastin fibers to reconnect all that skin matrix. And so that's where you get your skin tightening. That's where you get your plumping. If you've ever seen anyone elderly that maybe they bump into a cabinet and they bruise all over their arm, they brush up against something and they're bruising because there's no more collagen. So it's just skin and bone, and that's it. And so when they bump up against anything, they're breaking blood vessels. And so for them, these things do work. They're going to need a little bit more treatment, more biostimulators, things like that. But if you can catch it at a young age, when you in your 30s, you'll really never stop producing if you can keep up with that maintenance. So in a way, you're kind of pausing time in your 30s, even into your 40s and 50s. We can still keep you looking that young. I look at pictures of my wife from when she was in her 20s, and now she just turned 40 a couple weeks ago, and she looks younger now than she did in her 30s, 20s and 30s. She looks better, her skin's tighter, cleaner, and she really doesn't get much done. She just stays consistent with it. And so I mean, that's a huge testament. I can look back at photos and it's like, wow, that's crazy. But she hasn't stopped producing collagen and elastin either.
So at what age does the collagen and elastin, you said, start to stop producing?
Usually it's between 30 and 35, somewhere in that range. It's different for everybody, but that's typically the point for it.
So, wow. So like if you're in your 30s, you start that, you keep it. So like what about for me? Like I'm like 41. Is my elastin collagen production done, and can I not reverse that, or can I boost it up, or like how does someone like try to get that back?
For you, no, you're done. There's no hope for you. It's over. Sorry. No, honestly, you're catching it at a right age. If it's something that you're concerned about, usually as men, we don't care. In fact, in the industry, I also don't care as much as I should. I like to go golf. I like to go and do things. I'm always out. I'm outdoors. I'm running around. I don't get things done because there is a long time with some of it. But I know that especially I'm 41 as well, I need to start doing something. And so with what you were telling me as far as, hey, is it too late for me? You have probably stopped at this point repairing a lot of the collagen. That's why you said, well, I just noticed this, these things that are starting to happen. And, one, it could be that you're paying more attention to it. And two, it's just that you're aging. So when you lose the elastin in your face, your skin is going to start to droop. You're just going to start to see the bags under your eyes. You're going to start to see the wrinkles, scowl lines crow's feet all get deeper. And that's just, again, gravity pulling everything down because you don't have the elastin, which we call the bungee cords, are all frayed and broken. And so what we do with laser and other biostimulation injections, so like Sculptra and other things we can inject that will produce collagen as well. And now exosomes and biosomes have come out to the field, which are a total game changer. They're almost like stem cells on steroids. And so once we do open up the skin with laser, for example, we can then go in with the exosomes and we put those into all the channels that we open up, which helps rapidly heal the face, but also lives in the cells for 6 months. And so that helps also with the biostimulation of collagen and elastin production. So no, you're not too late for anything. You're actually at the perfect kind of pivotal moment of saying, okay, I need to do something to stay where I am as I'm aging and also regrow some of that collagen and elastin through those biostimulators. So that's the main job of a laser.
Okay. So this biostimulant, like that's not Botox, right?
Botox is a neurotoxin, which is not a biostimulant, but it helps to temporarily paralyze a muscle so that you don't make it worse. So for example, if I scowl, I have just a few units right here in my scowl lines. And I used to have conversations with people before I was getting Botox, and I would be scowling the whole time and I didn't know it. It was just a habit that I had produced. And so I would be happy and I would be talking to people and they would be very skeptical about what I was saying because I looked like I was pissed off.
Wow.
As I was like smiling, but that scowl line was so harsh. And the more you flex that muscle, the more habitual that muscle flexes in that area, the deeper that valley is going to get. And it's going to be, worse and worse and worse down the road 20, 30 years from now, to where we're going to do a lot of repair work to get that undone. We fix them all the time, but Botox is the preventative for that. So if I'm ever working on a wrinkle, say on your forehead, I'm going to suggest that you get Botox first, because if you continue to do this while I'm trying to fix it, I'm fighting against that habit. So Botox will actually, toxin, any neurotoxin, Botox isn't the only one out there now. They were just first to market. So there are some actual different and better versions of it, but any neurotoxin that can deaden those muscles or partially paralyze them, you'll eventually lose that habit. And that's kind of the main purpose of it, is that I'm not fighting against it. You're not continuing to scrunch those muscles. And eventually after getting, a few series of those done, your body will just forget that was a habit in the first place and you won't do it anymore. So that's kind of the point of now when you get into like more fillers are still not really biostimulators, not going to really produce a lot of collagen. They're just going to create another mass. So like if you need volume in your cheeks, that's a way to get volume instantaneously. So a lot of times we'll start with that, get you some volume, and then we'll work on everything else while you're able to have the instant gratification. Yeah. And then we can actually start working on repairing.
What about
time too.